Air evolution. What are you breathing?
Let's get this straight. Lately, there's been this huge battle over Planned Parenthood funding, correct? We're all aware of this. Some people are pro-choice, some people are pro-life. Wherever you are on the spectrum, do you or do you not agree that what we should do is immediately implement strategies that make it easier to prevent pregnancies prior to even needing abortion services? I'm going to refrain from expressing my view on the issue because, to be honest, on both sides of the issue, people who support pro-life or pro-choice, both of you are probably going to be opposed to what I have to say. So I'm going to leave that out of it. But I want to ask, this is the unifying, this is the bridge between the two spaces in most instances. There are a lot of people who do agree that if we increase the ease of access to birth control and other preventative methods to pregnancy, we can greatly reduce the number of women and teens seeking abortions. So my suggestion, my greatest and strongest suggestion that I most passionately support is that every woman who is 18 years of age or over who has ID should be able to go to a pharmacy and pay no more than $10 a month to receive birth control. Why do I say this? First of all, there are several different types of medications that have been around for decades which are accessible, not even over the counter. You can just walk up and get them. So some people would say, well, what about the health risks? Smokers and people who drink, maybe someone who uses drugs. There are health risks related to the consumption of birth control pills if you have these factors. Do you realize that most medications have the same health warnings, if not worse? So I don't understand why birth control is treated as something that requires you to have a physical examination by a doctor. If you don't have access to health insurance or a clinic nearby, then it's going to be harder for you. If you are a woman who has to work two full-time jobs, the poorest among us work the most hours. How are they going to fit it into their schedule without losing their job to get to that appointment? I know that we're all supposed to get our appointments, but let me ask you this. Are you wanting to force people to go into getting a doctor's appointment that they may or may not be able to get for a few years and risk the pregnancies that occur within that time frame? Why not empower the women to prevent the pregnancies? We should very simply be able to walk up to any pharmacist, and just like they do with, I believe it's the Tylenol PM that now is behind the counter, some of those medications like that, where you've got to show the ID and get the medication, we should do the same thing for birth control. I believe that we should have the consent of the parents for people under the age of 18. I know some people are saying young ladies who are teens who are having sex should be able to freely access birth control as an 18-year-old. However, we have to remember that there are parental rights for minors. We give parents the ultimate responsibility. If anything happens to the child, it falls on the parent, right? Well, then we need to make sure that the parents are giving consent to their children who are over the age of 18. Under the age of 18 to get birth control. So that very, very simple factor right there, where we have $10 a month birth control that is easily accessible to every person, regardless of their schedule or health insurance situation. I think that if we took that sort of a step, that sort of an initiative, we would greatly reduce the demand for abortions. And I think that regardless of what side of the spectrum you are on, that is a preferable situation to what we currently now have, which has caused a political divide. There are so many more issues that we need to be focused on right now that deal with job creation, improving, not even improving, reforming our education system, not privatizing it, keeping it public, but reforming how the classroom processes and administrative processes are administered. These things need our energy. We are wasting so much of our energy debating about this whole thing between pro-life, pro-choice, when let's just prevent the pregnancies. It's an easy, simple process. It's an easy method. The FDA could do this. We don't even need a legislative body to decide that birth control should be easily accessible over the counter by any woman 18 years of age or over. That's what we can do. We need to put pressure on the FDA. It's time.